There are so many things in this game that excites me, but also disappoints me. There is so much this game offers, but falls short in many places, restricting its ability to reach more players, and the reasons are reasonable. But first, we must go over what the game actually is. First released back in, 30th of April, 2024. It was originally an extraction tactical shooter. Keep in mind that was inspired by Tarkov, and, look at Tarkov like this.
I'm so fucking good! I'm so good!
Now, Greyzone did follow the rules of the extraction shooter of how they are constructed, going off like Tarkov as a prime example of the extraction shooter that I believe started the extraction shooter genre. Now, originally Greyzone did follow the rules of the extraction shooter. There's no real rules, but like say the concept using Tarkov as the prime example of what a tactical looter shooter extraction type of game is. Now, they did follow that concept until they really didn't. See, when they first launched, they would drop you in a 42-kilometer map. Now, how you would extract was basically you'd call on a little bird and then you'd jump on the side of it and then you just fly back to your base, hopefully. But the thing is that you would physically fly back, and if you're on the other side of the map, it was like a 7-minute travel time back home. So it's kind of like, okay, this is a bit of an issue here. So what they did is they added in strong points. Strong points, you can pretty much, when you go to one that's blue, which is yours, you can access your stash, your missions, you can accept more missions, hand missions in, get rid of loot, change your loadout, whatever you want, kind of like your home base. That other teams can actually take over your strongholds and you can take over theirs. It also acted like if you were to die out in the field, you could either spawn back at your main base camp, which was in one of the corners, or you could spawn to the closest stronghold, gear up, and go back into the fight. Either if you died by like a scav type of thing, go back and grab your shit from it. Now, when you died, it was kind of a bit of an interesting thing of how they got around it, because the map is like constantly there. You can go back out and find your body. Basically, in a nutshell, if you were to die and then you'd go back out and you haven't looted your body yet and you died again, that body would lock for you and you couldn't actually loot it. So it's kind of like adding in, it's like a punishment, because the whole point of the extraction type of genre that they're sort of semi in was to make it difficult. So that's what they got around. And I think it's a great thing that they did that, go out, die, come back, re-kit up, go back out and you die and it locks your body, that you can't loot the shit back off it. I think that's a great thing. I think that's a really good thing that they added in, just because it's like, again, another level of difficulty. If someone was to say, hey, I want to get into the extraction type of games and stuff like that, because it's very niche, it's a very hard type of game to get into, but once you get into it, it's intoxicating. I would recommend Greyzone Warfare for the pure reason that it's a lot more user-friendly. It's a lot easier to get into, and it's not like a lifestyle game like Tarkov. If you play Tarkov, you know that it's a lifestyle game in the sense of if you do not play like every day and put the hours in, you'll fall behind and then you'll end up versing like geared up players that have like stupid shit that you won't be able to punch through unless you just shoot them in the leg and do leg manner. Unless you're just some like spastic good shot. But I mean, like for the casual player that wants to get into it and potentially get into that hardcore realm, it's a good game because it is still the hardcore aspect of like an extraction shooter, like concept with the DayZ type of mixture in there and having the strong points and all this other stuff, but it's a lot more forgiving and you can be more casual. You don't have to really stress about, oh, I'm not up to like level 50 yet to get this particular like M855, 556 ammo to put in my M4 so I can bust this dude in the chest because he's got some like, heavy ass armor and all that shit. It's a little bit more forgiving in that aspect, I will say. You can kind of casually play it, which is what I like about it, especially if you're trying to introduce more players into that type of genre. Because it's an extraction shooter, but it's more of a casual type of extraction shooter. People would say it is an extraction shooter now. I would say it's more of like semi-extraction shooter, kind of like how you have a semi-open world type of thing, all of that stuff. I would say it's inspired and semi, you would go and put any words to it, Side note, when doing the missions, until the actual thing stops giving you the exact location or the coordinates of where the mission is or where to go, start looking it up on YouTube, because I had so much trouble trouble just trying to figure out where to go, what point to go to, and all this stuff. And I'm like, fuck, where is it? And then I just started looking it up on YouTube, and it was just 10 times easier. This is where the disappointment and the downfall of the game kind of comes into play. Like, I know the game is in early access, and I know that the devs are actively listening and changing things and implementing things, which is fantastic, which I love, but the performance and visuals are shit. I'll get into it a little bit more about like why the visuals are shit and the performance and stuff, but when I found that when like going through your settings, that if you had the foliage on like medium, your CPU would like jump up to, you know, 100%. And then if I was to like drop it down to low, it would go down to 40%. And I was like, okay. See, the visuals are shit because you can't see more than 20 meters. It's blurry, but when you would have a scope on your rifle and you'd look through the scope on 1x, it would look clear and look great. Your performance would tank, but it would look fantastic. And I was like, that is really weird. But one thing I found in your settings, because, you know, if I had it on the stock settings, which everything was on medium, everything would like go up to like 100% nearly within like, you know, CPU usage and GPU usage. But as soon as I tanked it down to, you know, low on foliage specifically, it'd go down to 40 to 50%. And I was like, that's really odd. But it's annoying when you have to kind of go and look up tutorials to how to get like settings to like work right, just so your game performs well. Even now that the settings that I currently have, and it's like sitting around the 60 to 70% mark on CPU and GPU, I can't get more than 80 frames consistently. You would be like still 80 frames, you'd move, and then it'll just drop down to 60. So I just locked it at 60 because that's all I can get. Even though none of my hardware is actually bottlenecking, it could be because my CPU is a 9th gen and not anything more than a 10th gen, because I know they changed the way, you know, the next 10th gen and up CPUs are, because they're also a bigger chipset, I'm pretty sure, or if it's 11th, one of the two. The point is that I don't like the fact that the game isn't optimized, and this is going to be the biggest downfall, because why do I have to go online and search up a video just to get some type of frame rate and some better performance out of it and something maybe visually when it should be in the game already? That's where I think people are going to be turning away because of that type of thing. It nearly turned me away personally, because I was like, fuck man, this is like, you know, the visuals are fucking terrible. I feel like I'm playing Call of Duty Warzone, where it's just fucking, you can't see anything more than like 50 meters away because it's all just mush. But I do hope they are going to like fix that and like fix the performance and like optimize the game more, because I think it is more of the optimization of the game, because it is early access. I understand that, but because the last 4 years of games being absolutely terrible from AAA titles that have had like absolutely shit performance, it's stupid. It shouldn't be a thing. Realistically, if it's not bottlenecking all of my shit, like it's, you know, sitting around 50-60% GPU, CPU, and even like my RAM and all that stuff, no, it's not bottlenecking any of that. That sits around like 60-70%, depending obviously what you're doing. Gunfire, obviously things peaking thing. But the point is that if it's not bottlenecking on my hardware, it has to be the actual game itself and what it's running. So hopefully they actually fix it and like bump up performance, because that's going to be one of the biggest deterrents and the biggest downfall at this point in time, in my opinion. That's why the game is like not doing too well. But at the same time, like the launch was a bit shit. Like it was great at the start and then it just dropped off after a couple of months, as I saw. Besides all of that, what we've just gone over, I found that the community is great. Like, it's fantastic. What they've, like, I would be sitting in base camp and I was doing my thing, and this guy's like, hey man, how you going? I was like, yeah, good. And he's like, hey, you liking the game? I was like, yeah, I'm liking it. And then he's like, oh, here's this. And he throws me a decked out gun that's kind of like late game. Like, this guy was like level 50. And I was like, what the fuck? And he throws me this gun that's like decked out to its tits, probably worth like, you know, a couple $100,000 worth of shit on this thing, because he just like slapped on attachments and just like lights and just random shit and just like, here. I was like, oh, thanks, man. And then he throws me like, he goes, here, there's this like, I think it was called the Phantom, like the best chest freak you can get in the game. And I was like, damn. And he's like, here you go. I was like, fuck. But everything's good. Like in the community, everyone helps each other. You ask questions and they help you. And I had someone reach out when I first played, because I just wanted to go for a run all the way down, just because I just wanted to get used to the map, especially at the start. He sent me a message, this level 42 guy, and was like, hey, do you know how to use the helicopters? I'm just double checking that you know how to do that. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm just new. I just want to go have a look and just get used to the thing and run around a bit. And he's like, all right, cool. But that's what I mean. Like, he reached out and just saw me just running down and was like, hey, do you need help, or do you know what to do? Do you want me to explain shit? It was just the fact that the community, like, and especially people within the game, reached out and did that shit. I was like, fuck, this is really good. I'm loving it. It's not toxic. Surprisingly, it's not toxic. But again, early stages, who knows how this game's going to develop and how the community is going to go and develop as time progresses. But in all conclusion for the whole thing, it's a great game. They need to fix the performance thing at the moment, I think, is the biggest downfall, just because it's just extremely hard to get into the game when you're just like getting 30 FPS for no fucking reason, and then like, you know, nothing's like bottlenecking anywhere. That's what I think they should work on first. Well, next maybe. Maybe it's coming out, I'm not too sure, but that's just my opinion.